Hello, this is Deanne from Small But Kind and Mighty. I hope you're well. I am here because I wanted to introduce you to one of my latest creations. Can you see her okay? Oh, it's a bit bright, isn't it? Oh, that's better. Okay. This is Luna, and she's the moon. And I wanted to introduce you to her and tell her a little bit about her story and share with you how she is designed to help children cope with anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. That was me live on Instagram a little while back, but I wanted to make a video that not only introduces you to Luna, but also outlines my 6 steps to help children prepare for change and how the Grumpy Moon package fits in with that. Luna is part of my latest educational playset called Regulate Your Universe. The theme of this set is planetary science and helping children learn about self-regulation, mindfulness, and dealing with overwhelm. If there's one thing I would love for you to do, it's check out Michelle Walker's review of the Regulate Your Universe supporting materials and the Grumpy Moon package in particular. Michelle has a master's in applied educational psychology, and I would love if you took a minute to read her full review. You can find a link to it in the description box. Before moving on to my 6 recommendations for helping kids cope with change and transitions, I'd like to first share what I've seen as the main 2 drawbacks with the standard pieces of advice you're likely to encounter if you're looking for help on this topic. The first drawback is that most advice is reactive rather than proactive. It focuses on how to help kids who are already anxious or having issues with transitions. Please do stay tuned because I'd like to return to the topic of helping kids safely process anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. But for now, I'd like us to focus on how we can proactively build resilience in children. How can we best ensure that kids grow up to not be scared by change and are instead flexible and adaptable? In addition to being reactive, the standard advice on this topic focuses on talking it out and active listening. Now, talking and listening are terrific strategies, but they're not really inclusive ones. Word games or mindset games, for example, can be a great way to help kids relax and get them rethinking their assumptions about upcoming big changes like moving house. The drawback with these kinds of strategies is that they presume 1, children are capable of speech or able to functionally communicate, and 2, have the cognitive and auditory processing skills to effectively play these kinds of games. Where does that leave toddlers and younger kids who can't always express how they feel, or AAC users who are emerging communicators? What about neurodivergent, developmentally disabled, or learning disabled children? There's nothing wrong with a talk and listen approach, but it simply isn't inclusive and won't work for everyone. What does work? Well, I've summarized my 6 recommendations in this infographic, which you can find on my website, and the link is in the description box. But let's flesh them out a little more here, starting with the first step, which is focused on reading stories. From baby and toddlerhood, we need to help kids learn that change is a normal part of life, and one of the best ways to do this is to tell stories about change that show characters thriving afterwards. All of my crochet characters have a backstory, and Luna is no exception. In her story, Grumpy Moon, we discover that Luna does not like change at all. And when you're the moon and you go through phases several times a month, well, that can be pretty tough to handle. So her friends, Sun and the stars, get together with Earth to see if there's a way to help Luna deal more effectively with change. If you start reading Luna's story and stories like it to children when they're little, then they can get to enjoy a cute story. And when a big change comes up in their lives, as part of preparing for it, you can use Luna as an example of how we can successfully prepare for change. Step 2, introduce toys to children that they can hold on to and play with now, and practice using them in ways that they can turn to in the future to help them manage stress, anxiety, and worry. So, for example, Luna and her friends are small enough to be handheld. Luna is a soft, friendly character that a child can literally hold on to. Kids can keep her with them when they go out to help with transitions, for example, that may be tough. Luna's face shows no emotion, so she's not judgmental, and it makes her a great listener. And yes, that also makes her a terrific worry doll. Teach your kids that it's perfectly fine for them to share their worries with Luna, no matter how big or small they are. And Luna is a positive example. With help from her friends, she found a way to deal with change and is now thriving. Step 3. Build coping strategies into everyday life so they become habitual before they're needed. Rather than introducing a daily walk or yoga when a kid's already stressed, start doing it when things are stable and they're happy. In the Grumpy Moon story, Earth creates a visual calendar for Luna, and visual calendars are terrific supports for kids to help them prepare in all sorts of different ways. You could start using one now to help them plan and prepare for something they're excited about, like Halloween or the holidays or a birthday. Introducing supports now results in easier adoption of them as a strategy, rather than a child immediately associating the support with something that they're dreading. Step 4. Once you know a change is coming, give kids lots of time to prepare. Again, a visual calendar is a huge help here, as children can literally see upcoming changes in their routines. For example, a visit to the dentist or a PA day. And remember to give kids agency and build this into their support system. Part of what makes change so hard is feeling out of control. So consciously build lots and lots of choices into your kids' lives that shows them they do still have control over things like which vegetable to eat at tea time, which shirt they can choose to wear in the morning, and which bedtime story they get to read. Also, ask them for their help in getting ready for a big change, whether it's packing moving boxes or choosing clothes for a new sibling. Step 5 is modeling. So important. What strategies are you using to help manage your anxiety and stress? If you want to use something like a visual calendar with a child, maybe incorporate it into your own routine first. You might end up getting a request from your kid to create a visual calendar for them so they can be just like you. And step 6 is consistency elsewhere wherever possible. When children realize that not everything is changing, then they know that their entire world isn't falling apart. When routines like bedtime and meal times stay the same, this gives kids structure that they can hold on to. I mentioned that in Grumpy Moon, Luna's friends help her prepare for change by putting together a visual calendar for her. I used the same visual calendar for Luna that we've had tons of success with in our home. It's called ChoiceWorks Calendar, and I've just filmed a little sort of demonstration for you so that you can see some of the features that I really like about it. We have used this for big life events like moving house, starting school, changing schools, big routine changes for them, like me being away from home or them being on vacation with grandma, little routine changes like PA days and medical appointments, and yes, fun things like counting down to Halloween or Christmas. Children perceive the passage of time far differently, and this calendar gives them a concrete support that they can constantly refer to. It gives them a framework within which they can plan and process how they are feeling. They can use it independently, and when they do, it can uncover potential issues that they may have been initially reluctant to share. So, for example, when checking in on our daily calendar and seeing an upcoming event, Oliver has sometimes said, "I don't want to do that," which is then a terrific segue into discussing the situation and working out what might be bothering him about this. I know some of you aren't fans of your kids using screens, and that's not a problem because you can print the calendar out. You can also share files with the folks at daycare or school or grandparents so that there's consistency across environments.
One, 2 days until.
If you're interested in trying out ChoiceWorks Calendar, then I will link to the app in the blog post that is in the description box. Just a quick recap of what's in the Grumpy Moon package. It includes Luna's story. It includes a copy of the infographic that outlines the 6 steps that I recommend for helping kids prepare for change. And it also includes a social narrative. As an optional extra, you can get all of those things plus a Luna toy. Now, you might be asking yourself, hang on, what's this social narrative? Well, I'm going to discuss that further in another video in conjunction with the issue that I mentioned earlier. How do we help kids who are already in the throes of anxiety, stress, or overwhelm? Social narratives are, in essence, stories that you can read with children that break down for them in a cognitively accessible way a topic that may be complicated, like when someone dies, or what exactly will happen when a big change occurs, like moving house. Or it can be a way to help explain to them new skills that they are learning. So, for example, the steps involved in washing their hands or crossing the road safely. The social narrative that goes with Luna's story is called What Should We Do When We Feel Overwhelmed? And it introduces them to a 3-step method for safely processing emotional or sensory overwhelm. If that sounds like something you're interested to learn more about, then please do subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the video when it's published. I will also link here to a video of one of the social narratives that I prepared for when we moved house a few years ago, which you may find interesting. As far as my 6 recommendations for helping children prepare for change, please do let me know in the comments what you think. If you found them helpful, I hope you will share this video with your friends and colleagues. I'd also love to know if you've used a visual calendar before, and if you haven't, has this video prompted you to give it a try? Please do comment because I'd love to know what you think. Thanks so much, and bye for now.